Hi everyone, it's Mitch, and it is Sunday, November 25th, 2018. It is NFL Sunday. Hopefully you guys are having a great morning. Anyways, hopefully you guys are off to a great morning. Kind of a slow start for me here. I'm still so sick. I just can't believe it. This is like, I've been sick for what, like a month, right? I mean, it's just getting worse and worse. I don't know. I started to feel better, and then you guys remember last week I was pretty much slept on the floor in my house, but I don't know. I think I need to go to the hospital, check it out, get like a real doctor to take a look at me. But anyways, not gonna worry about that. Doesn't stop us from doing the show. No excuses, just free picks. Of course, we're here 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Not gonna let a little pneumonia get in the way. Anyways, our best bets, of course, always over at sportschatexperts.com, as well as sportschatplace.com Premium Plus. I've been sick since, I don't know if it's this airline trip that got me. I mean, it definitely wasn't this one. It could have been the last one that got me. I think in Vegas in general is just so dirty, you know? It's like people blowing on the dice, right? And then it's like your turn, you pick the same dice, and then, you know, the chips, I never see them wash the chips, right? I mean, who the hell knows? So dirty, man. It's like you should wear rubber gloves, right, when you play blackjack or craps. You know, chip sanitizers. Definitely have to be one of the. It's dirtier than money, right? I mean, it is. It's gotta be. Anyway, it's NFL Sunday. Got a small card of games. My best bets are always over at sportschatexperts.com. We don't believe in locks. Aloha, Brian. Yeah, I mean, I washed down the whole thing. I have these things, and I'm not sponsored by this company or anything, and they're not paying me to endorse the product. But I use things like this, you know, and I have like hand stuff, you know, like these wet nap type things, and I wipe down the whole seat, everything, before I ever sit down on an airplane. So maybe I should do that on my chips, right, when they hand them to me at the thing. Yeah, I'm going to see, on that, I'm going to see ear, nose, and throat doctor when I get back to Maui. But anyways, just today it's free picks. Of course, at least we do at least 3 free picks every single day. Our best bets are always over at sportschatexperts.com. Been working with our design team, our tech team, and just about everybody else on our new site design. I've been getting some emails that people don't like the ads, the pop-ups, all this other crap. That pays for all this stuff, but in the new site design, things will be a little bit different. I think you guys will really like it. The site's going to be super fast, and so the layout, you know, like anything, the first couple days will be like, oh man, it's hard for me to find everything with the new layout, but this one actually should be a lot easier, and I just think that, you know, like anything else, like 2 or 3 days after doing it, or even a day or two, like for me, you forget what the old one even looked like, you know, so kind of how it works. But anyways, free picks every single day, game every single day. Our best bets over at Sports Chat Experts. What I just did there is I had my Skype window open because I got 2 people Skyping me, one from Europe, one from Mexico. So like, I'm Skyping with people on my team or from around the world trying to get this all together, as well as trying to get this show on. The show was already getting a little bit late, so that's why I decided to come on. So kind of ill prepared today. So what I'll do is I'm going to do a quick NBA pick. I haven't put my NBA premium picks in. I'll do that right after the show. But let's go to this. Let's see. I like that one for premium. I like that one for premium. I like that one for premium. I like that for premium. So I do that and that. All right, let's go to the first game. Lakers against the Magic. We got the Lakers laying 8 points in this thing. You know, the Lakers started the season really horrifically, and then all of a sudden they've turned things around. Just 3-6 against the number at home, but you know, early in the season, same thing like baseball season, still less than 20 games played for these NBA teams, and like I said, I think this is the best NBA season so far that they've ever had. At least the game is so much better. But we have teams kind of headed in the opposite direction. The Lakers have really started to crank things up and get it going. The problem that I have here, okay, so follow me on this one. When you look at the Lakers laying the big number, okay, which they are here, which I consider this a big number. It's not double digits, but it's still a big number. 8 is a big number. And anything over 5, I start to, 4.5 is a big number. But when you look at the Lakers here, right, even in this nice little run that they've had recently, the last time they were a large favorite, like, above that 4.5 range, they were 9-point favorite at Cleveland, who sucks, right? And they didn't cover in that game. Now we go further back. -2.5, they cover. -1, they cover. At 4.5, they don't cover. So see, that 4.5 is where it really starts to go in the NBA. 2.5, they cover. 11, they don't cover. 5.5, they cover 1, they don't cover 1. So you could see the small numbers the Lakers are covering. The bigger numbers, they are not covering. And then when you go to the Orlando Magic, the opposite side of the spectrum. These guys have been a cover machine. They've been getting points the whole way, usually winning outright as dogs recently, including a 130-117 win over the Lakers at home, and as 4.5-point dogs, right in that same range. They covered the 4.5 against the Knicks, and then they were 7-point dogs against Toronto, covered. 8.5-point dogs against Denver, lost both ends of it. Okay, and that was their last time out. I like the Magic here. You got to figure the world's going to be on the Lakers. It's kind of like one of those solo games. We're going to do the NFL in a second. I'm just waiting for everyone to join us. I'm feeling way under the weather today, so just trying to get my footing here. Kind of went over all that stuff. If you weren't late, you would have probably heard me talk about that. But anyways, I like the Magic here, and that'll be our first pick for today's show. So, of course, we do at least 3 free picks every single day. Yeah, Brian, if you want to give out your free picks, you got to do that in the Facebook group, not on the show. So we're going to have to delete that one. We appreciate you being on the show. Of course, I want to give you your own podcast, which you will have soon. We're going to call it Bookie Blasters. But if you want to give out your picks, you got to do it in the Facebook group. The show's my picks. I get up to do this crap every day. So I get to do it. Sorry. Still love you. Still want you to come out to Vegas. I think we should do the shows from here, man. Bring your kid with you. I don't know how that would work, but we'll figure it out. We always do. Anyways, let's get to the NFL. Of course, our best bets, Sports Chat experts, Brian Bittler. Great picks in NFL. Probably better than I've been this season. I think I'm usually, I have to say, in the NFL, I'm generally second half of the season is my strong point. I'm kind of at that point where I started the season slow, and now I'm back to about even for the season. So now I got 5 weeks and plus the playoffs to kind of push me back over the top in the NFL. Gotta say, college football I thought was really a bad year for me. I'm glad, I'm not glad that the season's over, but I'm glad the season's over. Just yesterday was total exactly how it's kind of gone for me all season. I had Cal minus the points. They missed the 2-point conversion. I had UCLA plus the points. Stanford gets the 2-point conversion. It's like 2 2-point conversions. I lose them both. The only thing that went right for me was Boise scoring the touchdown with 4 seconds left to cover the spread after they had blown the cover. Anyways, let's get to another pick. Let's go to Carolina, where the Panthers are taking on the Seahawks. I'll tell you what, a lot of the public here is on the Seahawks, but the line has moved down a half a point. I generally don't look too much into the line movement. I do mention it on the show because people think that makes it sound like I know what I'm talking about or something. Like, 4 million people a month reading the site doesn't do it for them. So they need to hear me say a little tidbit like that. And, so it's what the other guys do, right? So I rarely do what the other guys do. But the Panthers are 5-0 straight up at home, 4-1 against the number at home. The Seahawks quietly 5-5, and they're in the playoff picture. I just think this is a bad spot for them. I think that this physical Panthers defense, well-rested Panthers defense, I think this is going to be pretty tough, at home in this spot. Holiday weekend. I like the Panthers. I'm going to lay the 3 points. That'll be my first pick for today's show. Of course, our best bet's over at sportschatexperts.com. You can get Brian Bittler's pick there, and he says, LeBron, rarely a good bet. That's exactly what I said in that first thing. It's like there's certain teams, certain people, certain whatever that they're never a good bet, right? It's like you always have to pay up on them. So you have to really be getting value in the line to begin with, because it's like how the home team always gets 3 points. LeBron always gets 4, right? Or 5, because he's so popular. And then you throw in it's a public team like the Lakers now, and it's even worse, So like Lakers, Celtics, these are just, teams that you almost want to just always stay away from when it comes to the number. We see it with the Philadelphia 76ers are the new one, right? I mean, the last 2 years, those playoffs against the Celtics where they were favored like every single game and got beat outright every single game, and then the other night losing as a big favorite at home. I mean, this is what it is. Yeah, Mike, I had some winners, but I definitely had some rough losers. That Notre Dame, right? They had the cover, and then they don't have the cover, right? I mean, I know I wasn't alone there, but, no excuses. But, man, the only games that I had yesterday where the team just didn't show up, where I had a team that didn't show up. So SMU just didn't show up, right? I mean, they didn't show up. And they kind of tried to get back in the game. They had so many opportunities to get in the game. They needed the win to get into a bowl, and they just did not show up at all. And Georgia Tech did not show up. So, I mean, I went with a lot of dogs in rivalry games, and I paid the price. My biggest bet personally of the day, and if you guys listen to the podcast that I do every week called Sports Pick Info, was Ohio State on the money line. That was my biggest bet. It was the first one that jumped off the screen to me. I know almost all of our cappers at Sports Chat Experts were on Ohio State. I had a money line, and man, that was easy money. Anyways, yeah, Wisconsin shit the bed when they hired Paul Chryst as coach. They didn't shit the bed just yesterday. When they hired Paul Chryst, that's when they should. At least Alabama covered. Jesus. Can't stand Alabama. Anyways, it's another discussion for another time. Bills Jaguars, interesting. Let's see what we got. So the Bills are taking on the Jaguars here. It's in Buffalo. Allen is back in. This Jaguar defense has been phenomenal, and despite just as long as well, I'm not even gonna say it. I won't say it. But I will say that the Bills are taking on the Jaguars. The Bills getting 3 points here as a home dog. That Jags defense has been sensational, but Allen, I believe, is playing here for Buffalo. Let me see what's going on. But, man, the injury list for Jacksonville is about 10 miles long. And Allen is probable today. And he has been a difference maker. He was a great draft choice for the Buffalo Bills. And, he certainly, has the athletic ability, has the arm strength, he is a difference maker. I think this game is a lot of mucking around, and it's just you have two good defenses, you have kind of two mediocre offenses. I think the Bills' offense with Allen in becomes a little bit better here. So I know Fournette, when he's playing for the Jags, generally they do pretty well, but I like Buffalo in this one at home. I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills plus the 3 points. That'll be my second pick for today's show. I'm going to guess that one is not so I didn't, Luther Davis. That wasn't my pick. I don't know who wrote that article, but you can look at it, and it definitely did not say Mitch Wilson. If you look at my premium picks, I gave out Ohio State. And if you listen to the podcast, Sports Pick Info, I gave out Ohio State. I was big on Ohio State yesterday. You can ask Craig Trapp. He was mad at me. He hates Ohio State so much, and I was just like, they're going to run circles around these guys. And that's exactly what happened. So back to that Michigan-Ohio State game, since I'm talking about it. I have to say, I've watched college football for my entire life, which I'm old, right? So almost 50 years. So I've seen some great game plans throughout my life in college football. And you guys know college football is my favorite sport, whether or not it's my best betting sport. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But yesterday's game plan by Ohio State, I hate Urban Meyer's guts. I think he's a disgusting person. I mean, he is just really, I mean, if I had a kid, I wouldn't let them within, to let this loser watch my kid for, 4 years, would never happen, okay? Would never happen. But I'll tell you, that game plan by Urban Meyer with those crossing patterns on offense against Michigan was one of the greatest game plans you will ever see. And that is why people put up with his shit. That is exactly why Florida did. It's exactly why Ohio State does, because that game plan was, I hate them both about the same. I hate them for different reasons. I hate Nick Saban because he's an egomaniac, self-centered piece of dog shit. I hate Urban Meyer because he is just a piece of dog shit as a person. He has no values. He has no morals. It's like he hired a guy who was a gangster, right? He didn't hire him. He recruited a guy who was a gangster, okay? He had gang tattoos on his arm. He ended up being a serial killer, okay? Aaron Hernandez. But he won football games for him. So he's willing to go to any extent to win. So he's garbage, right? Nick Saban is just an idiot. I mean, if you listen to this guy talk, what an asshole. I mean, what an asshole, okay? I don't think you should be leaving the game early. Well, Nick, you made $9 million to sit there on the sideline and watch it. I'm paying, $100 and I got shit to do. It's like, I got to go to Target, It's like, I got shit to do. Sorry, Nick. Anyways. Oh, man. I could go on all day about this, but Urban Meyer, I just thought that game plan was one of the best game plans I've ever seen. In college football. And like I said, I've been watching college football my entire life, and I watch every game. So, I mean, it was just unbelievable how futile Michigan looked. I know there's speed differential and all that other stuff, but just there are other teams that are not as fast as Ohio State that were able to, contain them and stuff. And, you see, Florida's faster than Ohio State. I mean, it's just, you don't see, the number one defense in the country just undressed like that. They were just undressed. I mean, it was... Yeah, I mean, I don't like Nick Saban. It's like, Nick, I don't think you should be eating moon pies or whatever, those oatmeal patties, It's like coconut oil. It's like palm oil. I don't know. Let's get it. Let's get into another game before I get into trouble with our Alabama friends. I love the Alabama friends. I love the tradition of Alabama football. I just think Nick Saban is a black eye on the tradition of Alabama football. He's not half the man that Bear Bryant is. He ain't even close. He's not even in the same sentence as a person. Bear Bryant put his ass out there. He put his ass out there. He's the one that integrated that team. He's the one that integrated, he's one of the guys that integrated college football. And so it's not just for white people, it's for everybody. It's like, shit, man. This is our game, right? It's everybody's game. It's like, it's not. your game, Nick Saban. It's everybody's game. An asshole. Anyways. Do another NFL pick. We got the Buccaneers taking on the San Francisco 49ers. Got two pretty sad teams. You know, the Bucs have been on an absolute meltdown. Well, the 49ers, well, they lost to the Giants at home, man. They both lost to the Giants, both these teams. Oh, man, the 49ers have been off in their last game. They lost to the Giants, and the Bucs, they lost to the Giants, but at least that one was in New York. I think they put up a better fight. I think the Bucs get the best of this one. I just really don't like what the 49ers are doing. Another guy I don't like is John Lynch. I think he's smug, you know. Yeah, I really hate Saban. I really hate him. I just think he's an asshole. It's like, if you leave the game early, we're going to take away your tickets. Even though you paid for these, right? On the ticket, it doesn't say must stay for the entire event. It doesn't say anything like that. There's no rule like that. It's like, my players practice all week. Your players are paid to practice all week. They get free scholarship, free ride, and whatever benefits, right? Because why in the hell would a guy like Judy go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, when like they showed him the beach at USC, right? There's women in bikinis lying all over the place. In Miami, right? I mean, why else would you go to Tuscaloosa? I don't know. Oh, because I want to play for Nick Saban? And could be some other reasons too. Let's just say we heard the phone calls when it came to the basketball players, right? Creighton offering $200,000 for a basketball player. This is where college sports is at. Creighton is Creighton's in for $200,000. Oregon is gonna give him a house. It's like, we'll give you $200,000. Yeah, we'll match your $200,000 and we'll raise you a house. So a guy like Judy, right, who's like the star wide receiver, or Julio Jones, right, coming out of high school. I don't want to go where there's girls in bikinis and it's 85 degrees all year round. I'd rather go to Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I don't think so. I seriously doubt it. Anyways, taking the Bucs here over the 49ers. I'm having a good time at Nick's expense once again. Hey, Nick Saban, I'm changing the channel, baby. You're going to come take away my television? Anyways, got the Steelers. Let's see. Let's go one more. Let's see. One more. Okay. We have the Eagles and the Giants. The total in this one is set at 49. I like the under. This is a rivalry game, and you know both these offenses just seem to beat themselves pretty good. Eli Manning, I mean, he always looks a little lost back there. And then the Philly offense just has not been clicking. So I think what you have here is a rivalry game, probably a lot of field goals. It's played between the 20s. And I'm going to take the under in the Giants-Eagles game. So we kicked it off with an NBA pick. We took the Orlando Magic. Then we took the under in the Eagles-Giants game. We took the Carolina Panthers -3. And we took the Tampa Bay Buccaneers -1.5. And we took the Buffalo Bills at home at +3. So we gave out a bunch of picks. We had a good time at Nick Saban's expense. And, yeah, we'll continue to pound Nick as long as he's coaching. And I really think this is Urban Meyer's last year coaching. So we'll get in some more material on him and his serial killers and all the arrested players and all that other stuff that he has going on. But I will say one of the top 5 game plans of all time yesterday against Michigan. To put up 62 points against that defense was one of the top 5 offensive game plans of all time. Miami versus Nebraska in the '84 Orange Bowl. Ohio State versus Alabama in the college football playoff. Ohio State versus Michigan yesterday. So Urban Meyer's got 2 of them. You know, there's Jimmy Johnson for Miami versus Florida State a couple of times, you know, with running the ball up the middle. Anyways, have a great day, everyone. I will see you guys tomorrow. And tell Nick Saban, we're on his ass.